Right, hello guys, watching Geek Samuel. Today we're talking about Stranger Things Season 5, the final series. Watched it for the first time. Here's my honest opinions on the final season. We've talked about all the other seasons already on the channel, so check it out if you haven't already. Without further ado, let's go. So, Stranger Things, the final series. Now, I really enjoyed it. And I'll get onto the ending in a bit, but yeah. So there's a lot what went down. Obviously, we defeated in season 4, kind of Vecna, won, Henry, what's it face or whatever you want to call him. Even the characters take the mick at how many names he's got at this point. But the big thing that I really found interesting from this series, and it connects to another franchise, I think, in like a parallel way. We're just going to say number 1 because it's easy to remember. 1, Henry, is a bit like Darth Vader. He is the main antagonist. When you think of Star Wars and you think of the dark side and you think of villains, you're most likely going to think Darth Vader. But who's behind Darth Vader? Who's pulling the strings? Emperor Palpatine. And that is the main baddie. Now, the interesting thing here, they kind of did that again, but they did this with 1 being Darth Vader as such. But behind him, Emperor Palpatine is that big creature, that thing that called him from a kid and captured him and kind of manipulated him into the bidding and doing, what it wants. And I thought that was very much interesting. I know, why are you such a geek? You're connected to Star Wars. The characters that we've been following for the last 5 seasons are geeks. That's the whole thing. But I just thought that was a kind of a connection. That was a parallel that I was like, oh, that's a bit like Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine. So I thought that was really cool there. I just wanted to mention that and get that off my chest quick. Another thing, obviously, in this is going with the characters now. I hate Jonathan. I've hated him since the beginning. But he did one thing good. He saved Steve's life. Other than that, no. Still hates Jonathan, but he saved Steve's life. So I'm very happy. After all this, I guess Jonathan did some good. But yeah, Steve didn't die in this. And I was really like, yes, because when he was ready to go, I was really worried for Steve there. But Steve also having that problem with Justin, and Justin having to deal with the grief of losing Eddie, and feels like he's going to lose his best friend Steve that way, and he doesn't want to see that happen, especially when we see the stairs disintegrate like the ladder, and Steve could have died there. There's a few hints that Steve was going to die. I feel like they were playing on that, and I'm so glad they didn't kill him off, so that's great. But also, that whole fight with Dustin and the whole series building towards that, and then you get to see when they're playing Dungeons and Dragons and Mike is reading out our character's future in a way. We get to see Dustin still hanging out with Steve, and that's so cool. I really love that. Also in this, a character I've never really been fussed on, Nancy. Blown away with Nancy. Nancy's a badass, especially in the final episode, and she's just going, ah. I'm just like, who's going to be the bait? Nancy. I'm like, oh, damn it. It's really cool from her. Obviously, she kind of breaks up with Justin when they're in that thing, and they're like, it's a bit like Titanic. They're on the little raft, but actually both of them can stay on it. They're not going to just let one stay on it and the other one drown. They're both on it, which is how it should have always been. But anyway, we had that dynamic. Also, Nancy trying and find her sister was a big thing. I enjoyed Nancy a lot in this season, so yeah, shout out to her. Joyce didn't really do much until the very end. I felt like she's always supporting, she's always there, and she's done so much throughout the series. She's done enough to prove her worth. But when she goes for One's head, she does it like Thor should have done it in Infinity War. You should have gone for the head. She goes for the head, and she's acting away. And we're just getting all of these characters seeing things, what this creature has done to them, what they've been put through, and the flashbacks and the different characters that have passed away throughout the seasons because of this person. It was done brilliantly. I just thought it was, wow, it was a powerful scene. And I was like, are they going to do it like Darth Vader and they're going to give him a redemption? Because there was that hint at he was taught as a kid, he could still turn. No, no, she's just destroying him. Fair play. And now she gets to go off with Hopper and have that marriage and the happy ever after, which is nice. Hopper in this, the connections and trying to keep the guilt of losing his first child, and that scene where our main villain just manipulates Hopper's head and he shoots the tank and we think he shot 11. That got me off the chair. I was like, oh, that was crazy. And Hopper obviously getting that happy ever after of such, but losing 11. Even if you think 11's alive or not, he loses 11, and that's sad for him. But he deals with grief. He deals with the grief in a better way this time round. So that's cool that his character goes full circle again. He's a police officer again, and he's going for a different promotion, and it's going to give him a better life. So that's the characters done there. Where else are we going? Who else are we going with? Erica played a brilliant part as always, but there's a new characters we need to talk about in a minute. My cat's making some noise, so we're going to kind of deal with that rustling, I'm afraid. Who else? Of course, Lucas helps save the kids a few times, you know. Robin helps Will with obviously his coming out story, and that was done really well, whilst also sorting her life out and telling her lover and getting that all sorted. So that was nice, and obviously being supportive to Steve and stuff. So Robin sort of dynamics cool. Who else we got? Oh yes, Max. Max is in a coma for a majority of this series, but when there's more to it than that. She's obviously in the other world, trying to fight Henry, trying to get the kids, and that connection with Holly. It was done really well. And when she finally gets brought to the real world, and not until the very end, when she's real, she's kind of stuck in the chair. She can't do as much. But when she's in, I guess, the Mind Palace, I guess you could say, the Henry's world, she can move about a bit. She can do more. She can help. So that was an interesting take where they went with Max and really playing with that music, but also showing how much of a connection she has with Lucas. So I really enjoyed that. And obviously she gets the happy ending with Lucas, which is nice. Then we also go on to Dustin with the grief thing, but then going past that as well. That was cool. And obviously Dustin figured out with the science lessons, with the black hole and stuff, and the stuff we figured out in the book was actually the upside down is like in the middle, and we've got this other world where Vecna is and Henry and such and that stuff, and then we've got our world, and it's just actually been in the middle the whole time. It's like a void of such, which is explained really well, to be fair. Whilst also having Henry's background being explored even more when the cave and that whole scene created the monster, I guess you will. And we finally get to see that at the very end of the series. They did glimpses of it, but they really flushed it out there with the cave scene. And obviously, that was an interesting scene as alone. Now, we have to go on to. I'm trying to figure out Will. Will with his powers. We finally learn that Will has powers of such. He can only use the powers off Vecna. So it's like he can only use it off him. He doesn't actually have the powers, but he can take some off him, sort of vibe. And when Will's using them powers to save our friends in the middle of the series and to fight back in the end, it's done really well. And obviously, yeah, it's cool. It was cool to see that, and also Will obviously being comfortable with who he is at the end there, and moving forward and being accepted for who he is, because he's been hiding that secret for a very long time. And I thought they handled that storyline quite well. Whilst also we now have 11 and 8. Oh, I've never liked 8. I suppose 8 did its justice, potentially faking out the death there. If you believe Mike's story, if you don't, then she just dies. 8 did something, I guess. I was not a fan of 8. But yes, 11. 11 now. Yeah, her sacrifice. That really got me teary a little bit, you know. I actually got a bit of emotion. I didn't cry. I didn't have a tear. But I had a sense of water getting in my eye there as 11's death happens. And the dramatic sacrifice there was done really well. and we've just been on a journey of Eleven. She's really been through a lot, and it's really great to see. And the fight scenes she has with certain characters and the main badass villain at the end there, it's great. But also you have that. Oh, we didn't really tackle the soldiers, but I suppose they make sense of if you take if you take out these people that are trying to go for 11, there's always going to be someone else. So it doesn't matter if we take these out or we don't. There's always going to be another person behind to try and take 11's blood and use it for other experiments, which is a shame for 11's story, but yeah, some stuff's got to be tragic, and I do love a good hero death. It's why I'm a massive Doctor Who fan, and we have David Tennant dying and then regenerating into the next Doctor as such, and it's like it's like wow, you never really get to see your heroes do that massive sacrifice, very rarely anyway, and this really worked for me. I love a hero sacrifice. There's an old show called BBC, there's a show called Robin Hood they did for the BBC, and that spoiler I guess, but Robin Hood dies, and I love that ending. I love that Robin Hood dies because he saved the day, but at a cost, and he goes, and it's like it hits dramatically because you've been following this character for so long. So I do love a hero's death. That's why I kind of don't believe Mike's story, and I get to choose that. I get to choose whether Mike's story is just a theory, or I get to choose that actually Mike's story is real. And I like that. That's the way this series plays, and I choose she sacrificed herself because I love a hero death. Anyway, that being said, as well, it's a bit dark for Mike. Mike has yeah, where's he been? I feel like, where you been? Where you been? I feel like Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, like, where were you? Where have you been all this time? Because season 1, he was a leader. The rest of the show, he wasn't. He stepped up here. He started taking control at the beginning of season 5, and he started to become that leader again that I've missed from him. And if you really, I really don't think he's been a leader apart from season 1, and he really stepped up here and took control. And yeah, he's right as the leader again by the end of the show. But he also has the saddest ending. Like, he gets to be the writer and stuff in the storyteller. He sees his sister taking the journey that he once did, but I feel so like sad for Mike. Mike doesn't really have much, I guess, going for him in a way. Like, I can't see the ending there doesn't really play out for him. I feel, but yeah. And obviously, then we have the people that are after 11. Another experiment, another tiny attempt and stuff. It's like goddamn. But it's cool that we got one of the actors from the Terminator franchise to play the villainous person here. That was cool. And now we get on to Derek. Derek was a fun character. He has a few lines that are rememberable, but I didn't mind Derek, dipshit Derek, and the other one. Happy Derek, I don't know. Yeah, Derek's fine. I got nothing on him. Erica did played a good part whenever she could, and we also have that other dude, the bold dude, that just always has weapons for our main characters. He's like a game where he's like, "Greetings, here's your weapons. Here's what you have to do," and then he just goes off. He did blow up the helicopter at one point, so there was that. But he was a fun character. And then where are we at now? I feel like, oh yes, Holly. I think she's the main sort of character of this series, to be fair, like for the final, because obviously she gets kidnapped and all our main characters are after trying to save Holly. And then we almost get Holly out, but then she gets brought back again. And then she's in the dream thing with Max and obviously going from their memories. The actress who played Molly, such a young age, phenomenal. Like, it really, really incredible actress. She's going to really do some incredible films and shows. I can see it happening. But like, wow, the intro, like Holly was a background character throughout this whole show. She was Mike's sister, who was hardly in it, and then all of a sudden, that bad guy's trying to take the kids and use them so he can gain more power and more strength and use the wilds and Clyde. He's using them kids. He needs them. He can manipulate them, and the actress who played Holly just absolutely hit it out the park. Phenomenal. I'm really shocked with that performance there, especially with child actor. Child actors is always kind of bad, to be fair. But I guess these main characters, we've been following started off as child actors, and they weren't bad either. So anyway, so our book ending now. We defeat the villain halfway through the final episode, and then we wrap up our characters. We're going to meet up every month for our older characters, and they've all got life and things going on. And we've also got other characters going off and doing colleges and unis or whatever you want to call them, and doing other things. So our characters are moving on. The story ends with life moves on, but our characters end off happily and fine, which is the best way you want to wrap up the show, really. And the villain is gone and destroyed after all this. We've been through a lot with all these characters. I really enjoyed them. It's time to rank this out of 10. 8 out of 10. So, check out my reviews for season 1, 2, and 3, and 4. But 8 out of 10 for season 1, 8 out of 10 for season 2, 6 out of 10 for season 3. Really didn't hit it hard with that season. Season 4 was an 8 out of 10. And this series was an 8 out of 10, which means overall, this show is an 8 out of 10 show, which is really good. It's a really solid show. I really enjoyed this, and I think I'm going to rewatch it again one time. But that's really my honest opinions on this show, guys. It's been a journey. I've really enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm kind of glad that I didn't have to wait as long as you guys, you know? I was like, yeah, I'm not going to touch Stranger Things till it wraps up, till it finishes. And this is why I'm reviewing and watching it for the first time now. So I didn't want to get invested and then wait 10 years for each season to finally have Drive, and, you know, how long you guys had to wait in between seasons. I got to watch this when I wanted. And I watched this every weekend for the last 4 weeks now. So a month. I watched this show in a month. Spread it out, took my time, really enjoyed it. And yeah, I finished the story. So thank you guys for watching. Of course, we do Marvel, Doctor Who, Star Wars, DC, you know, raise the best be for geek like me, so join us. Subscribe, see you guys in the videos soon. Have a nice day.